Hey everybody, welcome to White Noise Live. I am Kyle, and with me I have Ethan and Ricky. I guess we should actually just have you guys, like, introduce yourselves.
I mean, I don't know what you wanted.
Yeah, we haven't really talked about it off the show, but I think in the future, probably the best thing to do is each of us to introduce ourselves, just because that way people only listening have a voice to go with the name.
Yeah.
So.
Sure. I mean, I'm Ethan. Hey, what's up? You've probably seen me before. Maybe. Probably not.
I'm Ricky.
Yeah.
As always.
Yours true.
This is episode 9, I think. It's
That's
been
a lot of
weeks
podcasts.
since we. Yeah, it's nice when you do them on a weekly basis, right? You actually like get a library of them built up.
We didn't do one last week, did we?
We didn't. We skipped the last couple weeks. The first week because I was in Ireland, and the second week because I was sick after being in Ireland. So.
That tends to happen.
And not even for the reasons that you normally get sick in Ireland, because I didn't drink anything.
Pop out.
Well,
there we go.
Weren't you like bragging the whole time about how awesome your flight was because you weren't going to get any jet lag and won't feel bad at all?
Yeah, it wasn't jet lag either, because I had
This
to work.
is payback for you bragging about that.
See, what happened is I got the flu somehow. I got some
Irish
flu. So there's. Have you guys heard of the Blarney Stone? Do you know what that is?
Oh my god, did you kiss it?
I didn't, because disease. I didn't want a disease, and so I didn't kiss the stone. But the legend of the stone is that, like, if the whole thing is you kiss the stone and you get like a charisma bonus. Basically, you get the ability to negotiate and like talk really well. So I didn't kiss the stone. And then I get home, and I get a disease that kills my voice entirely. Like, I couldn't speak for a week.
That's what you get,
Failed your charisma save. If you had that +2 to charisma, you might have made it through.
So that wasn't super fun. But thankfully, I didn't get sick until, like, my day traveling home. So I was able to enjoy the trip without being ill. Which was...
So if you kiss the stone,
nice.
You get a bonus to charisma.
Yeah.
What happens if you marry the stone?
I'm not sure anyone has ever done that.
You just get like a bonus to everything?
A public enemy of Ireland.
Also, when you think of this stone as I did, you're probably thinking of like a rock on a pedestal or something in the middle of wherever this is.
Thinking like a big boulder.
Isn't it like a one brick out of a tower?
It's a brick built into the outside of this tower. So what you actually have to do is lean backward over the edge of the top of this castle so that you can get in position to actually like snake your head up around to the stone.
Gotta be like a thing where like two Irish guys are sitting.
Do this?
I didn't want to put my mouth on the rock that everybody else was kissing.
This is gonna be a thing where like two Irish dudes were just sitting one day outside a castle and like, what if we convince people to lean out of a window over a perilous drop and kiss a brick? How can we make this happen?
Ireland is a very, it feels like a very mystical place, actually. As somebody who does not believe in any mystical anything, it just feels like a magic place, which is like there's so much Irish folklore and stuff I didn't know about. Like the detail that it goes into. There's a lot of, like classic myths and things that originated from Ireland, and that was really interesting learning about all that stuff just because it was a very superstitious country for a long time and still is in some regards.
Did you buy me a sweet wool sweater?
I didn't, but man, they had them. They were everywhere.
Oh, Kyle.
We even went to the islands that they supposedly come from.
So disappointed that you didn't get me a giant wool sweater.
The same islands that lonely Luke Skywalker is standing on at the end of the new Star Wars movie, by the way.
Did you go where Mark Hamill was?
I didn't get to go to that island, unfortunately, but I was on that collection.
You can't go there because Rey is busy training to be a Jedi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did get to visit the Cliffs of Insanity from The Princess Bride, though. Yeah.
The Cliffs of Insanity.
No, that would have been insane, Ricky.
That would have been inconceivable.
Yeah, that's the correct
wording.
I apologize.
That was the joke to make, Kyle.
Yeah, I was wrong. They're actually the real name is the Cliffs of Moher or something, and I did get to walk along the edge of them, and that was really cool.
I literally just watched The Princess Bride like 2 days ago.
Oh, really?
I haven't seen that movie in a couple of years.
Yeah, it's been like if I go 6 months without it, I'm like, I need to watch that again.
I watched it like 8 times in high school, so I think I'm good for a while.
It's one of those movies that just never gets old for me. Like I can just keep rewatching it, and it doesn't.
Oh, it's a great movie. I think it's probably like in my top 10 of like favorite movies, but it's still like I watched it so many times.
Yeah.
I can't.
It's definitely one of my top movies.
The fact that the
Weird
color
smiley
of the
face
box
has
of the
joined
drink
us.
does not match the color. That's Lenny, Kyle.
Lenny.
Yeah, that's what that face is. Leonard. Lenny.
Color
What?
of the boxes. What are you talking about?
I just call that person Face.
It's Lenny.
Yeah, I just call him face.
Yo, it's Lenny. Calm down.
I don't know. I'm not sure what he's saying though. Anyway.
Well, probably like this here, this stuff is not like the color of whatever the border is.
there isn't. It's the border is gray.
Yeah, we're not in a gray, horrible background.
We have a very simple color scheme. Also, hello to Noel, who likes pie. We
Oh,
also
sweet.
like pie. So
Also,
I'm not a
there's-
huge fan of pie. I'm okay with pie. I'll let it exist.
The first city that I went to was Dublin, okay, all of Ireland. I think the only possible criticism you could have of like what Ireland looks like is that it all looks basically the same wherever you go, but that way that it looks the same is like beautiful rolling hills and flowers and cliffs and things, so it's not really much of a complaint. Like it's an amazing place. Driving around just on a tour bus was like one of the best parts, and getting out and climbing things and stuff.
So basically, if your own personal hell is the ending of Majora's Mask, then don't go to Ireland.
Yeah, if you really hate that particular landscape for some reason, then I guess it's not for you. But other than that, it's pretty great. It is cloudy a lot, but it's like
Is there meatballs?
it makes cloudy skies look strangely beautiful.
Kyle, you and I have very differing tastes, and I want you to leave.
Well, when I say cloudy, I mean like solid cloud layer too, not like nice Simpsons clouds. But it's great. I love it there. That's what I
Nice.
always say. Every now and then I'm like, it's a Simpson cloud day.
I don't think I've ever said that ever in my life once.
I have multiple times.
I'm probably gonna end up saying it now and then punch myself in the teeth for saying it.
Dublin, I didn't care for Dublin quite as much as the rest.
With the Guinness
Wow.
brewery is there, you get the perfect pint of Guinness.
There was we did visit the Guinness brewery. I did not taste any
You mean
of
a
the Guinness,
slice of Guinness?
but it was an interesting place. There's Guinness stuff just everywhere in Ireland. One of the
Did you
guys
Should
just
have
I
had
was
some
with,
Guinness. Guinness is a great beer.
I didn't.
Did you partake in the Guinness?
One of the guys I was with had a goal to drink 30 pints of Guinness by the end of the week,
Jesus.
and
That's
he
a good goal.
He succeeded. He did it.
How was he not just a Guinness monster by the end of it?
I don't know. Like I felt so terrible
Like,
flying home
do
that,
realize-
that morning, and I don't know how everybody who was just slamming down drinks the whole time made it through.
Yeah, it's
I mean,
because
that's how
kissed
they
the
made it
water
through.
stone.
Yeah, that's Kyle, you do realize that's how Guinness reproduces. Once you drink enough of it, you turn into Guinness. And then they harvest you and make more Guinness.
Oh my gosh. Dude, you can like, even if you don't like Guinness, you can like get Guinness with like a scoop of ice cream in it. It's incredible.
God, this sounds... I don't know how I feel about that, Ricky. I don't know. Maybe I'll try it someday, but right now I'm going to stick to my gross beers that everyone thinks are gross. Like Angry
You like
Orchard.
IPAs, don't you?
No, I like Angry Orchard. I don't know
That's
what
not-
I'm not quite sure what IPE means.
Oh, it means it's awful.
Well, what does it actually mean?
India Pale Ale.
Oh, gross. I hate pale ales. They taste like
Have you
fuck.
ever wanted to go out to a like farm and just like take like beer hops and
I've
just
done-
sink your teeth right into them?
That's so. I went to there's this local joint kind of in Cedar Park called Fuzzies, and I went there, and they're pretty good. And I was like, this was like the first month that I turned 21, and they're like, hey, we got a new thing. Want a drink? And I'm like, sure. What is it? We got this Thirsty Goat like pale ale, and I'm like, I've never had pale ale. Sure, I'll take one. Gave me this giant like margarita glass filled with it, and I'm like, I've never wanted to drink my front lawn, but now I have. And then it just sat there for the rest of the night.
It's exactly what all India Pale Ales taste like.
It's just I can't handle the pure hops just punching all of my taste buds at once.
It's not a fun time.
So I had this theory before going on my trip that you know how everybody like Ireland is supposed to be known for drinking. But then so is Germany, and so is like Russia, and so is Scotland and France
and
England.
England.
I at some point I was
And
like, wait a
America.
minute, nobody's actually known for drinking. That's just what people do. Everybody
Yeah.
just drinks something different.
I don't.
But now, having visited Ireland, they might have a slight leg up on the "we drink a lot" trope. Like,
Well, Ireland is supposed to be like the best place to go to a pub. Like they have
Dublin just
genuinely
had
nice
a pub
pubs.
district where it was like that was literally all it was. Like every building was a pub, and you go through, and it's interesting because at night it looks like a very friendly place. It's kind of like reverse of most cities in that at night it looks much friendlier than during the day because of all the lights that they have turned on and everything. During the day it feels like a very oppressive place, which is not an accurate depiction of it at all because everyone you talk to is super nice and it's actually a very safe place. But it's like all the buildings they look identical. They're all like brick, straight, flat walls, like surrounding these really narrow streets that were built back during medieval times before cars existed and things. So it just feels really closed in, and it honestly looks like City 17 before the Combine invaded. I'm not exaggerating. I have photos to show you. It may very well have been like one of Valve's inspirations for the design of the city because that's what it looks like.
Where is Valve even located?
It doesn't say. It just looks vaguely European.
Isn't Black Mesa supposed to be in like?
Black Mesa is in Arizona.
New Mexico.
New Mexico. That's what it is. New Mexico.
New Mexico.
Ethan's right. But then they don't say a specific location for Half-Life 2. They just call it City 17, and it looks like vaguely European.
It's supposed to
architecture.
be in a Western Europe.
Yeah.
I don't know how he got from New Mexico to Western Europe.
I don't either.
Space?
Well, he got warped or something. I'm more concerned about how everybody else that he knew from Black Mesa got to Western Europe.
Because why would you stay in New Mexico when you could go to Western Europe?
Lots of things happen in New Mexico.
Like
That's also where the only surviving Dalek was.
You're not convincing me. You're not convincing me to stay in New Mexico.
Well, I'm actually going to New Mexico next week, and I'm going to Albuquerque. It's very much like Ireland, where instead of knowing for drinking, it's known for meth.
Nice. Is there like a meth district with like a different
I
meth
feel like
hive?
I feel like Irish people might take offense to that. Not New Mexico people.
It's just like Ireland, rolling gray brown hills, meth on every corner.
I'm just saying, there's probably at least like 5 people who call themselves Heisenberg.
The rest of Ireland was very pretty all the way through, though. I found one. There was a fishing village that I visited, just me. I left the rest of our group, which was like 44 people, by the way. It was an insanely huge group of people. And for one day, they all went to Belfast, and I decided I wanted to go find a hiking trail. So I went out to this fishing village called Hoth, and it was I now refer to it as Kyle's Dreamland because it was my favorite place ever now, and I want to go buy a house there.
What was it like?
Then we learned that Kyle's actually really into fishing.
It wasn't the fishing part. It's like somebody constructed a virtual reality island out of my subconscious or something. It's like everything that I enjoy about a physical location in one place. It was amazing.
I thought you
Did you have
hated
to
things
stop
that
and
were.
spin your totem?
What did you say, Ethan?
I thought you hated things that were in the middle of nowhere. Like
Well, see,
we came to a theory that if we brought you to Oatmeal, Texas, you would literally shut down and just die on the road.
Right, because literally nothing is there except for heat and Texans. This place was different because it was, first of all, a half-hour train ride from like the major population center, so it wasn't actually that far away.
That's not too bad.
It was super quiet. Like it was a short jump away, but felt really far. Was the main thing. It felt further than it was.
Short jump away.
Like the so there was, the main street was like this little coastal city street with like shops and restaurants and stuff. And then right behind that was almost like an American suburb. Like it was just this quiet little neighborhood. And then you walk all the way through that and you get up to this just huge open area of like farms and cliff faces and things. And at one point I found what for me so far has been the quietest spot on earth I've ever been in.
Mhm.
and it was very serene and peaceful and stuff, and I enjoyed it a lot. Like I spent all like the entire day just walking around and like climbing up hills and things, and that was by
Can we
far
get
my favorite part of
sponsored by Ireland?
the trip. Huh?
Can we get like sponsored by the Ireland Tourism Committee or something?
I don't think they need sponsorship. I think the Ireland Tourist Committee has their work cut out for them.
It was like going on these trips too is a very strange experience because it's like going to Narnia for a little while, because you go to this it's like you're living a separate life for a little while, and because you're doing something every single day that you've never done before, the time expands. So you get back home and it's like, I know I've been gone only a week, but it feels like I was gone for a month. And now suddenly I'm just back here and I'm not trying to like remember what was going on before I left.
That would be the jet lag and the Irish flu.
I'm
There
sure
you
that
go.
didn't help, but it was, yeah, it feels like it lasts much longer than it does. It was very fun. I enjoyed it a
All
lot.
I'm saying is, you rockied up the rocky stairs, but you wouldn't kiss the Blarney Stone?
Yes, that I don't understand the comparison between the running upstairs and kissing a rock that like every other tourist kisses when they get up there.
I mean,
Dude, I mean, if you probably would not have caught Irish flu if you kissed it, because you would have built immunity.
that's the thing. Like, I was gonna say, like, it's like kind of that weird thing where, like,
I'm not sure you know how immunity works.
well, no,
I'm
Kyle,
pretty sure that's exactly how it works.
if everyone kisses the rock,
Yeah, you just
like-
get a little bit of every disease, and then you become immune to everything ever.
yeah, like all of the diseases are fighting it out on that rock, like one big like virus battle royale, and they're all weakened. So when you kiss it, it's like a super vaccine of just everything. You also totally might have gotten herpes, rock herpes.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want rock herpes. The
Um,
only difference between regular herpes and rock herpes is that you start growing stones instead of cold
oh
sores.
God, you just turn into the thing. Wait,
Yes.
I have another point on that, but I'm not gonna get there just yet.
The thing? Can we
Yeah.
not talk about the thing? The less I
Um,
want to think about the thing, the more.
What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I tried to meet up with some people, but it didn't work. So apologies to those
Wow.
people. It was like I got very close to meeting a couple of people, and like the scheduling just didn't work out, which was too bad because I was looking
And Kyle
forward to
just died.
meeting a few people there. But yeah, I got to meet. I had a great group that I was traveling with and everything, and there were like the whole. It's also cool just because the group is from all over the country. So like my little group of 8 people, including me, that I was with, had people from like California, Florida, Chicago. There was one girl from Arkansas, like just all over the place. And yeah, you end up spending so much time together that you just end up like you're all friends by the end of it, and it was a fun experience. I recommend it if anybody wants to. I'm not being paid because we're not popular enough to be paid for anything yet, but if you want to go on one of these trips, it's a website called EF College Break, and it's like you pay them one set price and then they work out all the flights and hotels and everything for you, so you don't have to worry about scheduling anything.
It's not bad.
What would be the first product we would like try to get to sponsor us?
I don't know.
We should get sponsored by Slim Jims.
It would need to be like a
Slim
video game
Jims?
themed thing, right?
Slim Jims and then Mountain Dew, right?
No, not Mountain Dew, just Slim
And then
Jims.
we
We gotta
just
make one of
become
those
MLG.
weird commercials. Like Hulk Hogan.
Sunday 3101 says, just joined and we were talking about herpes. Sounds like a fun time.
Welcome!
In Ireland.
Herpes, Ireland? Oh, I
Mostly
can't even
Ireland,
speak.
yeah. The other 2 places I went were a small place called Killarney, which is in County Kerry, which is where the Sullivan clan originated from. So that was fun. And then
You're
also
making up words.
Galway. It does. Every name in Ireland is so weird. It's it does sound like all of it's just being made up.
And again, that's like also half of Texas towns.
Yeah.
I
Well,
went
half of
on.
Texas
Yeah,
towns are
that's
like-
true.
George. And like, and then there's
Happy
like
Texas.
oatmeal.
Texas towns are a weird collection of names for sure.
There's a Happy Texas. There's Paris, Texas. Always
Also
a classic.
Orange. It's Orange, Texas.
There's a lot of
Orange.
German names. Like
lot of
Pflugerville
German
and
names.
Fredericksburg.
But it wasn't herpes. It was rock herpes. Da, 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 da.
In Killarney, I went on a ghost bus tour.
Ghost bus, like
Ghost bus.
Let me just glaze over this. Like, I don't even want to get into this conversation.
how many orbs did you see?
Well, somebody definitely thought they saw a few.
How much
I don't-
Guinness was
I actually-
provided on the ghost bus?
And there was no Guinness on the ghost bus.
That's unfortunate.
So a ghost bus is very much like a regular bus.
Whoa! Who would have thunk it?
But with ghosts.
But the windows are all blacked out, and it's decorated with like everything they could get from a Party City on the inside. And then somebody's like telling ghost stories while we go on it, and then the presentation is actually really impressive because they time it just right to where we eventually you're like, wait a minute, the bus has been stopped for a while, and I don't know where we are because the windows were blocked up. And then you step out and you're like on this old trail right at sunset, so you just see the silhouette of the trees and this old like stone abbey off in the distance. And you step off the bus, and the second tour guide is there, and he's fully decked out in like groundskeeper graveyard outfit, like with a little hat and the tiny lantern and everything.
Oh, he had the tiny lantern.
And so yeah, he led us through and like, you know, told us all these different stories and stuff. And they were interesting stories. Like his whole thing was like he didn't actually believe in ghosts himself. He just liked all the stories. And most of the stories were actually real. Like he on occasion was like, other people who went on this tour reported these things. So take that as you will. But regardless of that, a bunch of monks were still tortured and killed here. So like
That's a great way to end any story. So then I bought 3 boxes of Girl Scout cookies, and then a bunch of monks were tortured and killed.
Like there was all sorts of stuff that happened. Like just like at one point he was like, one of the things that happened too is it was a big deal to be buried there. Like in that area, it was like if you get buried at this abbey, you basically get into heaven immediately. Like that was your one-way ticket.
All right.
And so people were like, you know, on their deathbed would be like, I want my final wish is to be buried at this abbey, and they were like, okay, and they would go there, and they'd be like, oh, it's kind of full because everybody else is coming here. So they would just dig up somebody else's grave, take them out, put the other person in, and be like, job done, and then leave. So then there was just like bodies piled up all around this abbey forever. And so yeah, the guy was like, yeah, basically we're probably just standing on a bunch of dead people right now. Like no joke.
Isn't it like how Hawaii's supposed to be? Just bones everywhere?
I guess you run out of real estate on Hawaii after a while.
No, like not like recently. Like there were a bunch of wars, like ancient like tribal wars of just thousands of people just dying in fields, and they didn't have a place to put them. So
interesting. I hadn't heard that.
Well, I mean, this was like 4th grade history, so goodness knows if that was accurate or not.
True. Hawaii.
Then again,
does
Hawaii
have a very
is literally like pineapple fields and volcanoes, so I think they'd run out of places to put people.
It probably does have a very interesting history just because it's self-contained. So like you know, everything would have it just would have been like an interesting little snow globe. That's a horrible way of describing Hawaii.
Snow globe.
That's how like Japan was. Like Japan was like closed off to the world like purposefully, and they just had this strange little culture that they developed, and then everyone else was like, "Whoa, Japan, you so wacky," and now here we are today.
But yeah, it was the ghost tour was interesting, and there was a guy named Derek who kept jumping out and scaring us, and it was because he was like on the bus we were leaving, and the guy was like, so we're not actually allowed to do anything because this is like a, you know, like a sacred cultural landmark thing. We're not allowed to go out and scare you guys. And for some reason, the way he said it, I was like, okay, I believe you. And so we go and do this whole thing, and then me and Mike, one of the guy from Chicago, who we were standing in the back of the group while this guy was telling these stories, and we keep hearing something behind us, but I'm like, oh, it's somebody outside on the path walking by, because I'm an idiot. And so, you know, the guy he expertly like leads us all into like this really intense part of the story, and then freaking Derek just runs out like in this hooded cloak and stuff, and everybody just like jumps 20 feet to the other side of the corridor. So it was fun.
Can't jump out and scare you because it's sacred.
It was pretty good.
It was a fun thing. But yeah, there was one guy, Chase, who was like super into all the ghost stuff, and he was taking all the photos. And
oh my gosh, did he develop them and then show you all the orbs?
he didn't have to develop them because we have cell phones, but
Hey,
he found some orbs.
Well, of course, you know, ghosts don't show up on cell phone cameras, so I gotta get all the old cameras.
yeah, you gotta get an ancient camera with a giant like flash bulb, and it prints them out.
Like the flash bulbs that like pop, yeah.
Ghosts don't like mobile technology.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
You ever try to watch a modern horror movie where it like happens over Skype? It's just weird.
That movie was awful. That movie was awful.
Was it that bad? I haven't heard anything about it besides like everyone's like, "Oh, it looks pretty good," and then like it came out and then nothing. So was it like I assume it was either very disappointing or just
Speaking of movies, I gotta go see Hardcore Henry.
Oh, is that out?
That came out this weekend.
Oh, cool. I guess
I
we
mean,
need to
it
go
could
check
be
that one out.
awful,
Yeah, I'm curious.
but I
there's
still
a
want
lot
to
of
try to see it.
movies that I need to actually like watch that are coming out recently.
So I watched a lot of movies on the plane
Yeah.
Oh, good.
from Ireland, and I
Was
watched.
it Irish films?
They were not. They were just like they were all American films.
They were all bad Adam Sandler
That's
movies.
one thing. If you go, I've been out of the country twice, and any kind of like movies, music, TV shows, all that stuff, it's all American everywhere. Like we make all the all the media comes from our country. That's our biggest export, basically. But
Was
I
it
watched.
Crossroads with Britney Spears on loop?
No, what is? I don't even know what that is.
Oh, okay.
I watched
You're
the
like-
man. I watched The Man from U.N.C.L.E. on the way there. That was good. That was the spy movie with
The spy one.
the American CIA agent having to team up with the KGB agent. That
Yes.
was very enjoyable. Henry Cavill, is that how you say his last name? Superman, newest
know.
Superman. He played the American guy. He did a really good job. It was a good movie. I would recommend watching it. It was cool because it was filmed actually in this way. It was HD. It looked like a modern movie, but because of the lenses they used and the color correction they did, it looked like a 1950s movie at the same time. Like it looked like really old, like when they first developed color.
Is it like when there's like the vertical bars occasionally or whatever?
No, they didn't do anything like that where they made it look like old footage. It was purely through the coloring and the lenses that they used, where it looked like it was shot with a really old camera and then somehow upgraded into modern HD. It was a cool look. I would recommend watching it just for
You know
that.
how they film? Have you ever heard of the Tim and Eric awesome show?
I have heard of it. I didn't watch much of it except for Paul Rudd's
It's
computer.
awful. You don't have to watch it, but the way they film it,
Yeah.
because they want to make it look like an old, public broadcast show.
Oh, okay.
They film it, and then they convert it to VHS.
Interesting.
They then put it in a VCR
and then re-record it back off the
and
VCR.
re-record it while hitting the VCR to make like the skips happen,
That's awesome.
and then like re-record it from the VCR into like actual digital HD.
Huh. I didn't know.
Also,
It's 2:30 a.m. Where do you live?
Liam the Llama, 10 Cloverfield Lane is excellent.
yeah, Ricky saw it. He liked it a lot.
Have you guys seen it yet?
I still haven't.
I need to
You
see
guys
it.
need to go see it.
I'll go see it.
I did see. So on the last movie I watched on the way back from Ireland was the new Fantastic Four, because it was there and because I had watched everything else, because I thought I'd just go ahead and see what it was like. And I gotta say, like, if I had to give any aspiring screenwriter a perfect example of how to never make a movie in every single aspect, that would be it. Like, I would
Kyle.
honestly recommend watching it just so you can see the most pure example of how every single aspect of a movie could be done poorly.
Kyle,
is
that's
so
why you got
bad.
sick. Why did you watch that movie?
It was Fantastic Four disease.
Oh.
It shut off my
ruins-
voice box so I couldn't tell people how bad it was.
Yeah, that's why. That's how they get you.
It was so bad.
That feature was added to help reviews of the VHS sales.
Have either of you seen it?
No,
No,
because I've heard it was terrible. That's why I didn't see it.
Honestly, like, if you can get it for free and like, pirate it. Like, pirate so many copies of that movie just to do it. Like,
I don't want to.
and just watch it. It's so horrible. I almost want to do a commentary on it, like with Ian or somebody, just so that we can, do a podcast commentary, where we can just point out like every single thing that's wrong with it and how terrible it is. I don't even know where to start. Like, the writing is just the worst thing you've ever seen, and you don't care about anything that's happening. There's a CGI monkey in it at one point.
what?
It is the worst looking CGI monkey you've ever seen.
Was it as bad as was it better than Jumanji?
No. No,
They
it
have no
wasn't.
excuse.
It was about Jumanji level, actually.
You know how old Jumanji was? Like 50 years. That's how old
Hyper
Jumanji is.
It was... the dialogue was so bad, and sometimes the even worse thing is that at times they knew how bad the dialogue was, and they
were just
tried
like,
to call themselves out in the movie, but then failed at that too. Like, even the response dialogue was bad.
Oh,
Like, there was literally a point where the guy was like, oh my god, it's painful to even like try to recite any of it, but you know, the old mentor guy had them in a room, and he started saying something, and one of them was like, he's gonna, like, one of the characters was like, he's gonna make a big speech, isn't he? And then he does the whole, you know, the speech or something. Like, they try to call it out and like make it into a joke, but it's just so excruciatingly obvious that that this whole movie was like, okay, we're gonna lose the rights to Fantastic Four. We need a script in 2 days. Like, that was it.
like self-deprecating referential humor only goes so far. Like,
Yeah.
you can only pull that card like twice before it's like, okay, dude, like, do you
Or
want to talk to somebody?
or you can make Deadpool.
Well, see, I would say Deadpool was a completely different thing, because one of the problems I had with Guardians of the
Deadpool was
Galaxy
just so
actually,
bad.
Guardians of the Galaxy actually did this a lot, where it was funny, it was a good movie, I liked it. I didn't I didn't get all the hype that everybody else seems to.
Because there's a
Guardians of the
record
Galaxy was like the best Marvel movie, like
What?
in a long time.
What'd you say?
I think Guardians was like the best Marvel movie in a long time.
It was a really good movie. The only thing that kind of rubbed me the wrong way was that there was a lot of moments where they would get to one of those sort of cliches, and they would do that. They would call it out. They did it well. It was funny. Like, they did a good job of it. But my thought during the whole thing was they could have also just not included that. Like, they could have just written it a little bit differently. But Fantastic Four tried to do the same thing and just, like, tanked so hard every single time.
I mean, like, the old Fantastic Four movie. I say old. The one that was like, God, was it like 5-8 years ago? That one, I didn't like that one. That one was boring.
Fantastic Four actually has a horrible movie history. I don't know what it is. Like, there's a really old Fantastic Four movie too that was like the worst superhero movie ever for a long time.
I think that the original, or not the original, but the first one they made with Fox, like that one that came out like way back when.
With Michael Chiklis as the Thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that one was actually really good.
That one was, at the very least, it was perfectly okay. I haven't seen it in a long time,
just,
so I don't remember really how
it got hung up. It got hung up on too much like sitcom stuff.
It did, yeah, I do remember feeling almost kind of sitcom-y, which I kind of like actually. Like, if they could do that well. It didn't get received very well though. A lot of people now don't like it.
But like, Doom was done really well, and at the end of the day, that's all you actually have to do to make the Fantastic Four movie good. Is you just need to make Doom really cool.
I did like him
and Doom
in that movie.
was done really well.
I did not like him in this movie.
And the final fight with Doom in that movie was good. It was really good. The action scene was really good. Because they all worked together and did the whole Fantastic Four thing, where there were 4 of them, and they all do something different.
I don't...
And Doom...
Was like... Sorry. Was like the thing where they, like, they start changing all their powers around, like, halfway through the movie? Like, was that an original plot device used in, like... I don't know, whatever the source material was.
I think that was the second movie that they did that in. I'm sure it happened in the comics at some point. Everything that you can imagine has happened in the comics at some point.
I mean, yeah,
Bye,
I mean,
Martel. Sorry, I didn't pay attention to you earlier. Hi, and bye. Or wait, is he leaving or is he saying goodnight to somebody else? He's saying goodnight to somebody else. Sorry, I was mistaken. He was saying goodnight to the shiniest meat bicycle, whose name I didn't notice until just now.
The shiniest meat bicycle.
Also, Elfra Light's here.
Hi, Alpha Sorry, I've been ignoring the chat for a bit. Also, hello to Anubius.
Hello to, like, everyone.
Oh,
that's not Anubius, that's a new Adius.
Oh, yeah. He says he was in Ireland. Did we have a conversation about that? Because
I like that face. What is that face?
I remember 3 people that I tried to meet up with and wasn't able to meet up with any of them.
That doesn't look like a face. It looks like it looks like a peep.
Oh my god! All of these emotes are horrible and creepy. What is this?
I like
what is this?
What? What?
That's Isaac
What
Newton.
is that?
I don't know. Emoticons are weird. Also, Remember, this is a podcast, Ethan. Nobody's gonna know what you're talking about later.
It's like a thumb with like gray crap on it. Oh,
No,
there's a
that's-
boo from
that's-
Mario.
That's
There's a Mario.
obviously a British guy.
Burnerack says that Ricky guy is really selfish. He should give some beard to Kyle and Ethan.
I'm good.
Yeah.
I don't look good with a beard. Trust me.
I can't grow a beard.
Kyle physically can't grow a
but
beard.
Ricky
I
can
don't
keep
grow
his. I don't really want one.
He can
I
actually
have to
grow
trim
like
it
a
down because now it looks a little ridiculous with the short hair. So I don't even shave it all. I think I'm just gonna get it trimmed.
Oh wait, there's more. Oh, look at all these emotes. There's pudding. There's a volcano. There's French fries.
Ethan, stop playing with
There's a
emoticons on a podcast.
No, you can't tell me what to do. Take this, Kyle. I attack with my ultimate weapon, the shroom.
I did watch all of. Being sick for a week gave me the opportunity to watch all of Daredevil season 2, which was fantastic.
I haven't watched that yet. I need to.
Yeah, I need to wait to talk about that until people
I'm
have watched it.
I'm still excited because Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt season 2 is
Yeah.
coming soon.
I just saw that last night. I didn't know that was happening but yeah, apparently next Friday that season 2 is coming out. I'm looking forward to that.
I shouldn't yawn into my
Oh,
webcam
you're
and
not?
just eat it.
You
You guys and your Netflix and your movies and your digital media.
know.
Netflix is so cheap. Why don't you have Netflix?
I do have Netflix. It's just
Oh, you
like
do?
I hop on Netflix and I'm like, I don't want to watch any of this, and then I don't realize like what's on Netflix because I can't like think of what I want to watch like when I turn on Netflix, and I end up watching 3 episodes of Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives while playing a video game. And I'm just sitting there like, man, I want to go to.
At least
What?
watch Cutthroat Kitchen.
No, I hate that show. It's stupid and dumb, and it's like, okay, Benjamin Griffin from Wisconsin, Illinois, you have a knife. Now you can pay $6,000 to take the handle off this knife, strap another knife to it, and give it to Clara. I'll do it. And then she cuts her hand off, and then she loses because she has to go to the hospital.
Is this
Good
actually what
job.
happens in the show? Because I want to watch it now.
Yes,
Okay.
it's dumb. There was
So
this
here's
one
what
episode where it
happened.
had this ball of mangled like kitchen tools and appliances. Like it had a pizza cutter sticking out of it, and it was all twisted. And you could pay to make someone else only use that as their cooking tools. And this lady got her hands all like destroyed because she was trying to win.
Food Network TV, also known as the perfect background TV channel ever.
Yeah.
They created this show called Chopped. And
I think-
Chopped is the ultimate form of cooking competition TV show. And nothing will ever be better. And so because of that, everything that comes out now is just chopped with some really dumb twist.
Basically.
And so this twist
That or
is
Gordon
Alton
Ramsay.
Brown is there, and he lets you spend your prize money before you've even won it to buy things like now your opponent has to cook in this little kid's kitchen with only a candle or an easy bake oven. That happened once.
I kind of
God.
like this actually.
It's not. The thing is, it sounds like, oh, it's gonna be kooky and fun. No, it's like, no, you're gonna watch some lady slice her finger off because some like jerk gave
I'm
her.
not gonna lie, it's pretty kooky and fun. I think my favorite was you don't get a table anymore. You have to build this IKEA table before you can move on.
What?
Also, if you want the Allen wrench, good luck because there's a million of them, and you can't have them.
Wow, Yaska asks, "Is this the first ever podcast you guys are doing?" No, this is number 9 of this particular series, and
9 of 5.
and this is like the 3rd attempt at this series.
Let's see. We had
So-
old.
It
we
is
had
not
OG
all
White-
about Master Chef.
Master Chief. We had OG White Noise.
Yeah,
We had UG White Noise. We had Video White Noise. We had
Road Trip
we have
podcast.
Road Trip Podcast, and then
With Pop Secret.
It's like 5.
Counterintelligence is almost podcasty, and then this is our actual current podcast that we're doing.
So 6.
I watched your most recent Counterintelligence,
Yeah.
and you guys all are referencing a 30 Rock joke,
What
but
do you
nobody
mean?
mentions that you're referencing a 30 Rock joke.
I haven't seen 30 Rock. What did I accidentally reference?
30 Rock makes the joke about the Uncanny Valley
Yeah.
because Tracy Morgan wants to make a porn video game. And he was told it can't be done because of the Uncanny Valley. Because people are cool, but animated Tom Hanks from Polar Express, and now you're scared. But that's the joke about like Polar Express being like the most terrifying thing ever. That comes from 30 Rock.
Well, I pointed out on the it's not that was my point on the show. It's not just 30 Rock. Polar Express is creepy. JP didn't agree.
I like that I used my very, very little knowledge of Ian to win that competition. Like, that is the most spy-like thing that I've ever done in my
You
entire
are
life.
surprisingly sneaky at lying. you're really good.
Kyle,
at it.
I am the ditz, okay? No one expects the ditz to be good at things. If you go on our, like, TV tropes page, which totally doesn't exist...
Actually, I've been checking
we-
Google Analytics every now and then, and for some reason we get like this steady hit from tvtropes.com, and as much as I've tried, I have not been able to figure out where it's coming from. It's really weird. Like, there are a couple sites. It's TV Tropes and one particular news post on XKCD for some reason give us very little but very steady traffic. It's like 2 hits a month or something. I don't know why.
I think we might be referenced on a page somewhere. If someone can
I
find
spent
it.
so much time because I don't do anything at work, and I couldn't find it anywhere.
Well, wait, okay, how do you spell your... Quibi?
We definitely don't have a page on TV Tropes. Like, we're not at all popular enough for that.
Quibi.
Oscar Walton says, "Hi guys, love all your content." Thank you, Oscar. Glad to have
We
you.
love you, Oscar. Oscar Walton.
Christmas Rushed. Yoda... You know what? Yoda's Christmas.
Yoda's Christmas. Let's talk about Yoda's Christmas.
Hey, you know
No,
what?
I'm just thinking, like... Kyle, you have some older, like, animations that got a ton of hits. Like, Fable 2...
Fable's actually been vastly surpassed by most of the stuff we make now, actually. In fact, a lot of people who are subscribed to our channel probably don't even know who Rodriguez is at this point, which is kind of sad.
Sort of good because Fable 3 is just never going to happen.
Yeah, it's just the character. Like, I really wish... I've mentioned before, I have a whole series idea for Rodriguez minus Fable, like just Rodriguez and John as characters. But it's an animation, so I don't know when I'm ever going to make it. I need somebody else to do
Why
the
don't you
animation
just
for me.
put them? Is your idea just put them in every video game?
No, it's like their own world and things. Like, it's a animated cartoon series about Rodriguez, El Cazorro, and John.
Because I just like them. I just like them in every video game.
Like, the thing is, Kyle, like, you have this gameplay channel with 3 videos on it, and you have a ton of backlog for it. And, like, yo, dude, come on. I've been waiting to see that for a while.
Waiting to see
And I didn't
what-
want to drop the gameplay stuff that you and John did. You have, like, a 1 video of, like, all this stuff that you recorded, apparently.
We have
Unless it died.
one other Fable video, yeah, that we haven't put out yet. Because, well, we don't have any follow-up Fable videos. What we're actually going to be doing is... we're planning on starting either the Metal Gear or Mass Effect playthrough soon. And Ian said he's going to edit those. So...
Bees is the pattern on your chair.
Yo, bees.
Oh, what is Kyle, what's the pattern on your chair? Asks the shiniest meat bicycle, who is still here, which is great, because it means I get to say the shiniest meat bicycle more. That is actually a blanket of the Vincent van Gogh painting of the TARDIS from Doctor Who.
I still like
Oh, I see.
bees. I think bees is a better answer.
Yeah, I think it's... I'm voting for bees.
Wow, Yaska
Have you guys
asks,
heard-
do you accept sketch ideas? Like, if I send you my ideas on email or something. We accept sketch concepts. Like, if you just have, like if you have an idea of an aspect of a game to make a video about or something, we'll take that into consideration, and it's actually useful for us just to get suggestions for games and things. We don't take full ideas just because I'm worried that's going to get, like, weird, like, when it gets into copyright things. Like, I actually had one person suggest on our last Civ 5 video a really good idea that I liked a lot, but they went into full detail about everything about it, and I don't want to just make their sketch, because then it's, like, technically, like, you know, who
Yeah,
gets credit
it's
for that? I don't
technically
want
their
to
idea.
have to worry about that kind of thing. But if you just have, like, a concept of, like, you know, could you make a video about this game? We definitely want that. Any kind of suggestions of just topics, that would be
Make a
excellent.
video about Painkiller Black Edition from, like, 1993.
Bernarac says 12 people watching but 110 thumbs up. Yes, that's apparently the thumbs up accumulate on all of our live streams on this channel for some reason. I don't know why it works that way.
That's
You
silly.
should give us more thumbs up.
No, give us less thumbs. Just rip our thumbs off.
YouTube should let everybody put 2 thumbs up on everything because you have 2 thumbs.
God.
That just makes sense.
And we just divide everything by 2.
Yeah. And then you don't know. But what if you could
Why don't
give
we get
something a
2?
thumbs up and a thumbs down?
Why don't we get 2 views? Because
If
we have
you
2
are
eyes.
colorblind, the ending of Mass Effect 3 will be disappointing.
Wow.
I feel like that's spoilery somehow.
No, Kyle, it's not.
I
The
am
ending
How
of
is
Mass
it,
Effect
like-
3 is just disappointing in general.
How long has that game been out?
Like 7 years.
No, but I haven't played it, and I just
What's-
said we're gonna do a Mass Effect playthrough, so I'd rather not
is
like be
this-
told what it
I
is.
know, I won't
There's
do it.
3 of them now, Kyle. Don't
just
tell me
going-
you're gonna play through all 3 of them, because that's a lie.
I'm going into what would you say is like the like time limit of something to be spoiled and nobody should have to care?
I don't know.
I
I
say, like,
wondered about that myself.
5 years.
Like it's
5
gotta be different
years
for movies
it's
and
a
games,
big
right?
plot twist.
Because I mean, the main thing is like it's turned into like a weird obligation where you know like, oh, avoid spoilers. I actually kind of like if something has a really good story to it, I don't want to give it away to people because I want them to experience it for the first time on their own. So I don't know. I guess it's just by
Well, like
case
Cabin
by
in the
case
Woods,
kind of
which
thing.
go see Cabin in the Woods if you've never seen it. I'll never spoil that to anybody, and like you should never spoil that.
yeah. And see, I already know it though because
Spoiler alert, Vin Diesel's a ghost.
Reed watched the whole thing and told me all about it, so I already know like everything that happens in that movie.
Is that the one where
That's
there's like the 2 guys just living in the woods and they're like, people think that they're murderers, or is that something else?
That's something else.
Okay.
That's something else. Is the one where Thor goes on a vacation?
Okay.
What?
That's not inaccurate.
Is that a movie with like? Oh, you know what? I even think I might know what you're talking about. Wait, is it the
Cabin in the Woods is Joss Whedon directing a movie in which Thor goes on vacation.
Wait, Cabin in the Woods is Thor goes on vacation?
Yeah,
Thor meaning like Chris Hemsworth is in the movie?
yeah.
Ah, I didn't know that.
There we go. We
Death-
deconstructed the joke, and now it's not funny anymore.
All right, yay.
Death Vader is Luke's father. That's
Death
my
Vader.
favorite Starfight character. Dude, Death Vader.
Starfight.
Perfect.
I tried to get Kyle to play Terraria, and he played it for like 3 minutes, and then he checked his email for about 2 hours, and then my friend
I
played.
played it
And I was
for
like,
a little while. I just
You
didn't
played
get
it for
into
like 2 minutes, and then you just went AFK in the house that I built, and we're like, hey, Ethan, look at this funny YouTube video. And I'm like, Kyle, I'm trying to get you to play a video game for once.
Okay, so Terraria, I can't. The problem with making a Terraria video specifically is that I've already seen the funniest Terraria video, and so it's really hard for me to come up with another
Terraria video.
The problem
It-
is
it was one
we
that
need to
Corridor
make a
Digital
Darkest
made,
Dungeon video
where
still.
they are attacking each other, and their arms just start spinning around in a circle while holding whatever tool. And it's the funniest thing, and I don't think I could make something funnier than that one simple little concept.
It has a lot of weird stuff in it. The issue is, like, past a certain point, Terraria goes from, like, whoa, this is interesting and weird, to, like, okay, I'm literally shooting Neon Cat at people out of a sword. This is, like, just, like, low-tier meme territory at this point.
Spoiler: Meat Boy gets killed by a buzzsaw.
Oh, no, now I can't play Superb Meat Man.
You know,
Tomorrow, tomorrow, me and Jeffrey are supposed to be filming an Undertale video, so that's our next game sketch.
You're gonna try to do Undertale?
We are. It's specifically about the battle mechanic.
I'm warning you. It's
Yeah, it's
dark
not a-
territory. We don't want to go there.
Like, I
This
don't
is
want
my
to say
warning.
anything, Kyle,
But Jeffrey's
but
gonna be wearing a wig.
All right, I can approve this.
I'm gonna
Never
warn
mind.
you,
Green
Kyle.
light. Give it. Go ahead.
If you do make anything about Undertale, like, you're gonna get 60,000 suggestions for doing other Undertale things.
Yeah, I probably won't do them. So nobody
Well, I'm
suggests
just-
anything.
I'm just saying.
And then we have, we've been getting a lot of suggestions. I honestly, I just need to play more games. I've actually been, this
You
weird
have
thing has
people
happened
to play games for you, Kyle.
where I've spent all this time making videos about games and have not played any games in like a year and a half. And so I'm running out of things to make videos about.
Kyle, that's why we go to the good ideas folder.
Have you
Hold on.
been updating
Where's
the
the-
good ideas folder?
Hold on, where's the Dropbox? I'm looking for it right now. Hold on.
Hey, Master Necrosis.
Hi, Master Necrosis. And
You should send me a link to
Borderlands.
the Dropbox so I don't fumble around for forever.
Hey, Kyle, have you played Borderlands?
I have played some of Borderlands 2, and I want to play much more of it.
So-
Particularly because one of my newer favorite YouTubers wrote it, which was interesting.
Hey, I have that game we could play together at
Which
points
game?
in time.
Borderlands.
Borderlands 2.
Cool. Yeah, I'd like to play more of it. We almost did a video kind of about it. We did the shoot and loot video, but it wasn't directly about Borderlands.
I just say we should start from the beginning and we should play all Berserker. No, all Krieg.
I didn't get
All
very
three
far, so I
party.
could start over easily enough.
So,
Go for it.
the issue with Borderlands is that every single time that I get into Borderlands, usually it's like someone messages me, "Hey, Ethan, we're playing Borderlands 2 again. You want to make a character and join us?" And I'm like, "That sounds great." So I make a character, and like one of like 80 that I have that are below level like 15, and we get into a thing, and then we play the beginning section. I have to listen to Claptrap goes, "Ah, my eye!" for like the 60th time. And then we go and we talk to the guy with the arm, and he's like, "Oh, I must have been terribly cruel to puppies in a past life." And then we have to go kill like Robin Williams, and then we have to go kill Jeff Foxworthy. And then we kill the guy that's on fire, and then we kill the Mario Brothers, and then we go into the place, and then like we spend 6 hours gambling
It
in the
sounds like
starting
you've already
town.
gotten way further than I have.
No, we're in the starting town, and we talk to like Knife Man, like, "I want to eat your babies," and then he cuts someone in half. And then we talk to like the Russian guy that shoots the guy in the leg, and then we talked to Lady, and then we gamble for like 12 hours, and then everyone's like, "Oh, I gotta go eat a bagel," and then they leave forever. And then about 5 months later, the same thing happens. "Hey, we're gonna play Fallout 2, or Fallout 2. We're gonna play Borderlands 2. You want to make a character?" And I'm like, "I have this character from like 6 months ago. I got a new computer. I don't have any of my old saves." "Okay, fine." So then we go, and then my eye! And then we go see Sir Hammerlock.
Okay,
and
I
he's
get
like,
it. I think
"Oh!" So it just
The
happens
same
over
thing
and
happens
over.
to me
So I have
for
the
Torchlight
first,
2.
I play Civ
hours.
5 the same way. That's why I've never played through an entire game of Civ 5. Like, we're all
I have the
horrible
first
at
2
finishing
hours
games.
of Borderlands memorized, and I hate it. I absolutely hate everything about the first 2 hours of Borderlands.
I have a million Torchlight 2 characters. Nobody ever like wants to get past a certain area. They're like, you know, guys, let's just go play Diablo 2 again. And I'm like, no, let's just finish this game.
Lizzie Fidge, hello, says
The guy,
she
the guy with his arm, that's for narrowing it down.
she says Undertale is a good idea. The guy with the arm.
Yeah, Sir Hammerlock. Spoiler
The
alert,
guy-
it's the first hour of the game. If that's a spoiler, I'm sorry.
Master Necrosis suggested beta games like Ark, Subnautica, and Space Engineers. Those are usually the ones that I like making videos about, actually, because they're smaller developers.
Do you have Subnautica, Kyle?
I don't, but I do want to try that one out. I don't know.
Oh.
I feel like that one might be difficult because of its setting.
It's
I'm
not-
sure.
The problem with making a Subnautica video is that a lot of the funny things that's happened in that game are funny because it's like, oh, that's weird, and then they never happen again. It's
Kyle?
kind of a...
It's not recurring.
What? No, well, like, Subnautica's personally like a horror game to me because I'm terrified of deep water, and like, but like it's a really, really pretty game, and it has a lot of like interesting things in it. It's just like the funniest thing I can think of off the top of my head is that there are these little polyps in the ocean that spit out bomb fish from Mario to kill you, and that's it. And you see one, you're like, oh, that's weird, and then you just stay away from them forever because they're scary.
What were you going to say, Ricky?
I updated to Windows 10. Now I can't find Dropbox. You should send me a link.
Send you a link to Dropbox?
Yeah, to our Dropbox.
It's, well, you already, if you just go to Dropbox.com and re-download it. Like, it's on your account. It's connected to your account. The White Lightning folder is connected to the account. That's how Dropbox works.
Sorry, guys, learning how to do Dropbox.
Yeah, I'm slowly regretting my decision to upgrade to Windows 10 more and more.
I'm okay with it because
it
I
tricked me.
upgraded.
It tricked you?
Yeah, it tricked me.
How did it do that?
Huh?
You have to kind of go through this whole process. I'm not like, when did you realize you had been fooled?
It goes like, it's like this thing popped up, and I thought it was like a, hey, we're going to update you to Windows 10 if you don't click on something here, right?
Yeah.
And so I like moved it to like 1 hour and clicked OK, and what I actually clicked was OK update in 1 hour.
Oh.
Oh.
And so it did it
So
while
then
you were
I
gone?
left my computer and I came back and it was updating itself to Windows 10.
God, freaking Windows.
It was sneaky. I battled it for like 3 months. I fought the good fight, and it got me.
My calculator currently doesn't work.
You should upgrade it to Windows 10.
Just shut off. I have upgraded to Windows 10. There's so many things that just started breaking afterwards, and it's probably my fault, but I'm blaming Windows 10 because it started happening after Windows 10.
I upgraded to Windows 10, and then I was like, wow, this sucks. And then I also, like, after that, my hard drive started failing just because it was a really old hard drive. So I got a new hard drive, and now everything works really well. So it's like, I think I just had a crappy old hard drive.
I'm sure. I wish I just knew more about computers than I do, because all of my computer solving abilities come from me just like beating on things until they work. And that's about it.
I'm very
Eat.
like with computers. Like if you hand me a bunch of computer parts and say this turns into a computer, I can go all right, and then I can build a computer. But I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Like when I upgraded this thing, I had an old case, and like it didn't have very good airflow because it was just plastic on all four sides with no holes in it. So it was like just starving a frog inside a little airless box. And I got a new everything, and I was like, okay. And I put it all together, and it should have worked fine. The only problem that we had, which took us 3 hours to solve, was that we didn't plug like one of the little power supply plugs into the other side of the motherboard. So only half of the motherboard was receiving power. Because it was like hidden behind the processor.
I don't even remember. I knew what I
So-
was doing when I built the computer, but I forgot all of it right afterwards. So my entire computer, I've used this analogy before. It's like in those like a grungy sci-fi show where they have like their ship, like the Millennium Falcon or something, where it's just barely working and they just have to like keep hitting it with things as they go. That's what my computer is like.
You have the
Like,
Serenity.
It's like it's open. The side panel of the computer is always open because I can't close it because there's stuff sticking out of it, and I have like one of those little floor fans sitting next to it that I turn on when I'm rendering video because otherwise it shuts off because it overheats, and it's just a mess.
I think
Have you guys heard of that
Stormcrash-
weird oil stuff? That like it's like a coolant.
Yeah, there's
But
liquid
it's-
coolant. Yeah.
It's like you submerge your parts of the computer in it.
No, I have not heard about that.
Your computer literally becomes just this vat of liquid.
That's weird.
'Cause it also connects the parts.
It turns into Mr. Freeze. Or
Connect
like
the
Mr.
parts.
Freeze's wife that's just in that vat.
It's like the weirdest thing I've heard of, and I might be like completely misquoting it, but I read about it once, and it's like this weird looking oily goop substance, and you like put all your parts in it, and it's a computer,
Weird.
and it works.
In the future, computers will just be like an oil barrel that you just kind of
Yeah.
put and you hook it up to a monitor.
Wait, I'm sorry. Are you saying they just like dumped the computer components into this vat of computer goo and then it
Well,
worked?
They're like mounted.
So they are
it's
still
mounted-
connected to each
Essentially,
other. You're not
yes.
saying like the electricity is being transferred through the liquid or something.
Yes, it is.
That doesn't make sense.
I know. I could be wrong.
Uh,
Chat, help me out.
So
The shiniest
Okay.
bicycle said internal cringe, so I'm guessing that they are currently at the part where I said my computer shuts off when I render videos.
Stormcrash brings up an extremely good point in that Windows 10 gets blamed for everything attached to it. Windows 10 is great if you disable every single feature.
It's true.
That
and
is
I
just
did.
a great option.
I did disable most of the features.
It's like, I don't want Cortana. I don't want another search engine. I don't want to look on the internet when I'm just trying to look for files on my computer. I
need
don't
to
want
shut
Candy
that off.
Crush. I don't want Blandy Bush. I don't want Grandy Grush. I don't want the 16 apps that you're trying to make me download.
I like how they tried to fool me. They're like, no, this isn't Internet Explorer. This is Microsoft Edge.
yeah.
Microsoft Edge
nope,
is one
nope,
of the
that's
best
the Satan
PDF
symbol.
readers that I've ever had.
And you sure are not going to be my default browser.
The shiniest meat bicycle says that he likes it. It's better than 8. Got rid of all the tablet crap. I would like to point out that while that is correct, it is better than 8. That is hardly a credential. That is not really a selling point.
I
It's
like,
like saying
Struan
that
Pete,
dying
he
is
said,
better than not dying.
he said, I'm on 8. He said, I'm on 8. Better than 10. Worse than 7. Just kill me.
Burnerac says the liquid does not transfer the power, which makes much more sense.
Yeah. I think it's like,
I think it's probably just a cooling mechanism or something, if that actually exists.
I've heard of liquid-cooled
The,
computers.
the image of Kyle touching the monolith from 2001, A Space Odyssey, and building an entire computer and then promptly forgetting what he just did.
That's basically what happened. I found
Granny.
this web page that told me how to do it, and I was like, okay, and like it absorbed all the information just enough to assemble the computer, and then it was like, well, it's done. I don't need to know any of this anymore. Just delete that.
Okay, so the liquid doesn't transfer the power, but apparently it is a thing. Confirmed
exist.
by Brennick's loose skelt.
I remember Microsoft Edge is actually like really good because like I don't use it, but it's good because they're getting rid of Windows Internet Explorer, right?
Yeah.
And I
Storm
have
Crash
all
just
of
said
my
it was
friends
better.
right now are currently like going through programming college where they're becoming programmers for various things.
Yeah.
I have a front-end developer friend and all this, and they say that like making a website is the worst thing in the universe only because you have to code for Internet Explorer still. And Internet
Yeah,
Explorer
no, it's
is like
horrible.
so backwards and the
There's-
worst thing ever.
There's literally an entire step to the web design process that is, okay, now take everything you did and make it work for Internet Explorer. It's the worst. Lizzie Fidge said she put in the I want to play DVDs quote, which just reminded me of something that an exchange that me and Reed had at one point a few years ago that I actually wrote down in my quotes from the White Lightning HQ crew text document, which is a thing that I have.
What? You have that? You're hiding that from us?
Yeah, I want to see him.
And Reed,
I
he
share
was
all my
just-
good ideas.
He was sitting behind me back there, and he just like I'm working on something, and he just goes, like I can't remember. He's trying to figure out how to play this DVD. He's like, I want to watch this DVD, but I don't want to get up and go into the other room. And I was like, you can play DVDs on your computer. And he says, I can play a DVD on my computer. Like, yes, all of your games are on DVDs. That's how that works. And he says, so I can watch them on the TV? No.
No.
And he just goes, I don't understand technology. That's pretty much our understanding of everything. I have individual
Kinda-
quotes from people too, by the way, if you're interested.
Sure.
Most of them are from Reed.
Give us a quote for each of us, Kyle. Like one
Yeah.
for you, one for Ricky, and one for
Unfortunately,
me.
I only have Reed, Ethan, and Jeffrey right now.
Aww.
From Reed, I also have, I like my legs. I'm really satisfied with how long they are. Second one
Good
is,
thing to be satisfied about.
another Reed quote is, some people are gay. I like ocelots. And then we
All right.
That
have-
actually makes sense. That makes sense.
And then we have, I could buy Just Cause 2 and maybe an Xbox One for the price of one human, probably. I don't know the
don't think that's
context of any of these.
I think selling each individual organ would total up to more than an Xbox One.
And then from Ethan,
Oh God.
I have... God, I don't... They're both about bears, first of all.
Why? I don't talk about bears that much.
I have, pandas are the most chump animal. They just eat bamboo all day and they're still going extinct.
Wow.
I remember saying that. I still don't like pandas at all.
And then I have no idea where this one came from, but it says the Bermuda Triangle is in the Pacific Ocean.
I forgot about that. I remember that was during a podcast, I think, or like after a podcast. I just said it.
And then from Jeffrey, I just have, I'm more important than your family.
I'm more important than your thing.
And that is the White Lightning HQ quote file.
Hey, what a great.
Oh,
quote.
right. Burnt
What-
L just reminded me that I have to add there are still atheists from Reed.
Oh yeah, there are still atheists.
So
That was actually pretty incredible.
I'm still collecting if anybody has noticed any that I haven't on podcasts or anything. Feel free to submit your White Lightning HQ quotes. I will add them to the quote document.
What is in the good idea folder since I'm still trying to download Dropbox?
All right, I'm not sure. I have to go find it and open it.
Pop it open. Let's see if there's any gems there.
I feel like I get a lot of hate for hating pandas, but I that doesn't make me hate pandas less. It just makes me want them all dead.
Wow.
Why do you hate pandas?
They don't. It's like, okay, so here's the problem that I have with pandas. There are tons of bears everywhere, like, you know, the brown bear, black bear, polar bear, whatever. Polar bears do things. They're struggling to survive constantly. Their territory is constantly, literally melting off the face. What if you woke up one day, Kyle, walked outside, and your front lawn was just melting into magma, and you're like, well, I can't
That's
deal
happened.
with this.
I'm sure that's actually happened.
And, like-
that was last summer.
So polar bears, like, they literally are just struggling to exist. And then we have pandas, and every single thing that we are trying to do for pandas is like, you guys need to breed now or you're all going to die. And they're like, nah. And then they just sit there, and everyone's like, oh, look, they're cute because they're fat and they eat green things. And it's like, all right, good job, pandas. You're all going extinct because you just sit there, you big old chumps. While polar bears...
I heard that pandas have to eat like several tons of bamboo a day just to get enough energy to keep going, and the reason is because they're built like carnivores still, but like at some point during their evolutionary trek, they decided to eat bamboo instead, but they still have to eat enough to match like the number of calories they would get from meat. So there's just some supporting facts for you.
Pete also hates pandas.
Who also hates pandas?
Strawn Pete.
True.
Hey, everyone hates pandas.
Everyone hates pandas, alright.
Just waiting for there are dozens of us.
I'm glad that people actually...
There are dozens of us!
Dozens! I love that show.
I'm glad that I'm meeting more and more people who hate pandas. We can finally make a support group for people who hate pandas.
Oh, did you guys know it snowed here? Speaking of burned to hell. It snowed here in Lubbock on April 1st.
Really?
Not
And
even
then this guy
kidding.
was like, April Fools, and then it rained fire.
Well, in Austin,
And then
it's hot.
It was like 40 degrees last night.
Well, screw you.
It's been just like the most dreary and disgusting outside. I say as it's like bright. Oh, it's bright and cloudy out
It was
today.
40 degrees in Ireland the entire time I was there.
You say it's
That's
bright
fantastic.
and cloudy out today? That doesn't
Yes.
make sense.
It does.
It's
in Texas.
it's very light clouds that are just like burning me when I look at them.
Alright, well, I have a thing I have to be doing by 1 o'clock, so we should probably go ahead and wrap the podcast up. You guys have any...
We have a whole hour before 1 o'clock, Kyle.
Well, I have to drive to a place and be there by 1 o'clock.
What, you don't have a Nickelodeon dot on the ground that you can just jump into and appear in that place?
I don't know what that is.
Get with the times.
What? Like portable hole? Like from
Portable
D&D?
No, it's like a blanket that you just like unroll and then you jump into it and then you're there.
Nobody's allowed to have that in any of my D&D campaigns because they'd break it.
No one's allowed to have like that ring in one of them. You know the ring that like if you put it in a bag of holding, it blows everything up? I don't know what it's called.
I don't know.
There's a
I
ring.
had
It might be a portable hole. It totally might be that.
Our entire campaign derailed because there was a Vorpal blade on a table. And so they just decided not to go find the Dwarven Prince in the caves. And they just steal this and run away.
I'm working on getting Ian to start a D&D campaign again for us. So.
I show this to the stream. Everybody, R.I.P. Oh my god, Heracross.
Heracross. One of my I'm actually
What
like
if you
I don't
randomly
know.
have a Heracross Pokemon?
No,
Okay.
time out. We're so close to ending it.
Nope. There's a funny story behind this Heracross. I'm an art teacher, and one of my students said, "Mr. Ethan, what's your favorite Pokemon?" And I'm like, "I really like Heracross. Like, I think Heracross is pretty cool." And then like
That's a low,
the next
low
week,
tier.
she
That's
brought
scrub.
me a foily Heracross, and I'm like, "Aw."
That's nice.
Did you
That's
call me a
adorable,
scrub
still.
for liking
Yeah, you're
Heracross?
scrub for liking Heracross.
Why? Heracross is cool.
No.
Yo, one of my friends traded me a Heracross. Like,
All about
when I was-
Murkrow?
no, I didn't remember, bro.
God. Okay, so goodbye, everybody. Thanks for joining us for White Noise Live, episode 9. I'm gonna go ahead and try to end this again. Maybe by next
That's
episode,
good.
I'll have a TP Kyle.
Oh.
Drew on Pete just typed a Minecraft teleport command into the. It didn't
Nice.
work, I'm afraid. So I'm still going to have to drive there. So,
You put a portable hole in a bag of holding.
goodbye
Sounds
to
like the
everyone.
worst.
Thank you for being a wonderful audience. We actually felt like we communicated with you guys more this time, so that was nice. We'll try to keep doing that in the future.
How much longer till the podcast will end?
Now.
It's ending now. We're leaving.
Get out.
Everybody shut
Leave.
up. I'm going to play the outro. Here we go.
All right.
No,
Bye.
I'm gonna scream.
No, stop screaming.